But I'ma tell you like this, when I saw that, I think T.I. fucking lying.
Y'all, King Harris is back in the headlines, and this time, it's not about his Waffle House fights or skipping out on court. Nope. His own baby mama just sent the internet into chaos after allegedly leaking what fans are calling a gay tape of King, and if that wasn't enough, Boosie jumped in and straight up clowned T.I for how he raised his son. Now, whether that tape is even real or not doesn't matter to the internet, because speculations about King's sexuality have been floating around for years. People have said he looked a little fruity. Others claim the baby was just a cover-up. And now, this leak is fueling all of that even more. But here's where it gets worse. Fans are dragging up every old rumor, whispers that King might not even be the father of his son, claims that his baby mama only got pregnant to secure the bag, and accusations that he's been cosplaying a gangster lifestyle he never actually lived. And y'all, Boosie jumping in isn't a small deal either. Instead of clowning King directly, he threw shade at T.I, making it clear that this isn't just gossip anymore. This is a feud. So buckle up. Because we're about to dive into the paternity rumors, the baby cover-up theory, King's fake gangster persona, his public meltdowns, and finally, how Boosie turned this entire situation into a way to embarrass T.I in front of everyone. Before this whole tape mess even hit the blogs, King was already dealing with people questioning if he was really the father of his child. From the moment his baby mama announced the pregnancy, people were side-eyeing the situation. The biggest thing everyone kept saying was, "She's older than him." And that alone had the internet calling her out like, "Girl, you knew what you were doing." Here's the clip that had everybody talking. King with his baby mama and their newborn. Then came the money talk. People swore up and down that she only got pregnant to lock in the bag. They said she saw the Harris name, the fame, the money, and decided to cash out by having a baby. It didn't matter whether it was true or not, because the comments just kept multiplying. And when the baby was born, instead of shutting it down, the speculation actually got worse. People were posting things like, "He doesn't even look like King." Others were convinced King was just trying to prove his grown man status. That's when King went online and started calling the baby his twin, saying he looked just like him. He even doubled down by posting pictures captioned, "Y'all can't tell me this ain't mine."
Tell me. It been 20 years, bro. It been 20 years. I figure if I wasn't built like that, it'll show by now. It been 20 years.
But here's the thing. The more King tried to prove it, the less people were buying it. And it wasn't just about the baby. It's because for years, the internet's been whispering about King's sexuality. So when this pregnancy happened, fans instantly thought, oh, he's just trying to prove something. And now that the so-called tape is floating around, those same people are pulling out old receipts and claiming this was the plan all along. Use a baby to silence the rumors. And honestly, that's where the whole conversation started to shift. While people were dragging King over the baby drama, others began pointing out that this wasn't even his first time being accused of putting on a show. For years, fans have said King's been cosplaying a gangster lifestyle, talking tough, throwing himself into beefs, and acting like he came straight out of the trenches. But then people remember, this boy was raised by T.I and Tiny. He had money, privilege, and spent most of his childhood at his grandma's house. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, but it doesn't exactly scream, "I grew up in the struggle." Here's King in his own words, talking about how he used to live at his grandma's place.
House.
But what I'm saying is, they wasn't.
You can talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the fuck I want to wherever I'm at.
And that's exactly why people don't buy it. Every time King gets online yelling about being from the hood, the comments are like, "Be serious." They say he's been trying to force this street image to cover up the fact that, deep down, he doesn't really fit that role. It's almost like King's fighting two battles at once, trying to prove he's a father and a man, while also proving he's this hardened gangster. But instead of making him look strong, it just makes the spiral look worse. And trust me, the spiral only got louder when those Waffle House clips started making the rounds. A video went viral showing King straight up arguing with employees at the restaurant. He was loud, he was threatening, and people couldn't believe that the son of T.I and Tiny was out here wildin' over fast food. Here's King wildin' out at Waffle House.
I'm on live, shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant.
And the wildest part? His own dad went live the very next day, basically saying he couldn't understand why his son felt the need to go back and forth with a short order. Cook T.I said he and King's uncles had tried to talk some sense into him, reminding him that he lives a life most people can only dream of. So why stoop down and argue with people who are just doing their jobs?
His necessity to go back and forth with a short order cook, I didn't understand.
Clearly, that advice didn't stick, because after that, King's name kept popping up for all the wrong reasons. And the biggest one? His arrest. Footage dropped online showing exactly what went down back in 2024, when King got pulled over in Georgia. According to police, he almost hit a squad car while leaving a gas station. They said they could smell weed coming from his BMW. And on top of that, he had a gun on his hip. When they ran his info, it turned out he had a warrant from way back in 2022. That case was tied to speeding, driving with a suspended license, and even a DUI. He was supposed to appear in court, but never showed, which is why the warrant was still hanging over him. The video shows officers pulling him out, cuffing him and sending him straight to county jail. And while King wasn't wildin' in the footage, he actually stayed pretty calm. The internet wasn't. To them, this was just more proof that his life was spiraling out of control, and in case you missed it, here's the full video. King Harris being read his rights. Pretty calm.
With my son. You know, me and his uncles. You know, we were perplexed by...
At this point, fans weren't just calling him reckless. They were saying his entire public spiral, from the Waffle House incident to the skipped court dates and the arrest footage, looked like one big attempt to cover up deeper rumors he just couldn't escape. And here's where things get even messier, because as soon as that alleged tape started making the rounds, guess who decided to open his mouth? Boosie. Yep. Instead of minding his own business, he allegedly started clowning T.I, making slick comments about how his son ended up in this situation. And the internet instantly clocked it as shade. Not really toward King, but toward T.I himself. And that's what makes this whole thing so wild. Boosie isn't just some random voice online. He has a long history of saying controversial stuff about sexuality. This is the same man who had to publicly apologize to his own daughter after making homophobic comments about her being gay. He went on Instagram, said he was sorry, tried to walk it back. But everyone knew he meant what he said the first time. So when people saw him inserting himself into King's drama, they were like, "Isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? You've got your own family situation, your own messy comments to clean up, and yet here you are, clowning somebody else's kid?" But there's another layer to this too. Because Boosie hasn't exactly had it easy himself lately. Remember, he just took a plea deal on those gun charges. And if things go left, he could end up back in jail. So for him to be out here trolling T.I right now, while dealing with his own problems, tells you this wasn't just about King. This was personal, and if you've been paying attention, T.I and Boosie's relationship has been shaky for a long time. So to really understand why Boosie is even in the mix, we've got to break down the timeline of their beef. And trust me, it explains everything. It all started when Boosie made headlines for his comments about Dwyane Wade's daughter after she came out as transgender. Here's the clip that really set things off, Boosie talking about Dwyane Wade's daughter, a moment that had the internet calling him out for being transphobic.
Non-felony in that ashtray in the back, as well as in that basketball sleeve.
A lot of people dragged Boosie for being transphobic, and T.I was one of the loudest voices calling him out. He went straight to Instagram, telling Boosie to mind his business and stop worrying about another man's kids. That moment right there planted the seed for this feud. Then, a couple of months later, things escalated when Boosie called T.I a snitch over his old federal gun case. T.I fired back, saying he'd never let anyone disrespect his family and that he wasn't scared to go head-to-head with Boosie if he had to. Here's Boosie in that Vlad TV sit-down, calling T.I a snitch, and here's T.I firing back, shutting down those snitch rumors once and for all.
Time to exercise these rights and not answer any of my questions or make any statements. So my question to you is, I found just...
By that summer, Boosie started criticizing T.I for the way he was parenting his daughter, especially that infamous situation where T.I admitted he took her to the gynecologist. Boosie went off, saying T.I was controlling and completely out of pocket. T.I snapped back, saying Boosie was the last person who should be giving parenting advice. They started throwing shots about family, street cred, and even those same old snitching accusations. It was clear by then, this wasn't just rap beef anymore. It was personal. For a minute, it looked like things had calmed down. Both of them went online saying they were moving on, that there was no real problem between them. But by 2023, the feud reignited all over again. Boosie accused T.I of not standing up for him during his own legal mess, and T.I made it clear he was done babysitting and wasn't obligated to defend someone who constantly disrespects him. So fast forward to now, and it all adds up. Boosie jumping into King's situation wasn't random. It wasn't him just being messy for clout. It was another chance to poke T.I right where it hurts. And with King being at the center of all this internet drama, Boosie couldn't resist. Once that alleged tape started spreading and Boosie chimed in, the internet wasted zero time tearing King apart. And some of those comments were cold. One person flat out said, "He was always weird looking to me. Too bad he took after Tiny and not T.I." That one hit hard, because people have been dragging King's looks since he was a kid, always comparing him to his parents. Then somebody else went even harsher, posting, "He looks like the clown that's always trying to kill Bart Simpson, Sideshow Bob." And listen, the internet ran with that. Side-by-side memes started popping up everywhere, but the comment that really blew things up was this one: "King about to be queen." That's the line that sent everything spiraling, because it didn't just clown his image. It went straight back to years of people speculating about his sexuality, and that's why this whole situation is bigger than just a leak. These comments showed that people never really stopped questioning King's identity, and with Boosie stirring the pot, the conversation turned into something way deeper. The bad blood between T.I and Boosie never really died, and right now, King Harris is caught right in the crossfire.